people forget. The spray flies, speedboat glides, and people forget they're hiding.
And a good Monday afternoon, everybody. Monday Night Football. Let's go. A few hours away. What'll be about 5 under 5. 5 hours on the dot would be 3:15. So
5 hours away.
Yes. And of course,
Matt.
Birds and Chiefs. Oh, by the way, Philadelphia Eagles with the better record here. But what does that mean tonight? Not a damn thing. This game right here, I'm kind of all over the place with it. I won't lie. I'll straight up tell you from the betting perspective, definitely not feeling this game.
It's an odd one.
Not
even with
feeling
player
it.
props. I was looking up a bunch of player props, and it was an odd one.
Yeah, definitely not one that I'm fired up to wager on. Of course, we'll get the first touchdown scores, maybe take a shot at some a script, as they say in the sports gambling world, as far as a same game parlay on DraftKings Sportsbook is concerned. We'll see. But right from the jump, John, the one thing I'm wondering about is this: 2.5. Why are odds makers so okay with making this game 2.5? Now, I don't know if it's going to be 2.5 at kick, but the majority of time for the last 48 to 72 hours, I think it's been about 2.5. So my question is, or my thought is, odds makers want money on the Chiefs because you know what it is when you hang Mahomes under a field goal at home. That money needs to come in on the Kansas City Chiefs, right?
It does, but there are going to be people that talk themselves into the Eagles because, as you just said, they're coming in with the best record. They're also coming off of a bye. Jalen Hurts is playing extremely well. Defense has started to look better at times. They had one of the more impressive wins of the season. I had to say impressive wins of the season because it was Dallas rivalry game, but they beat Dallas.
Feels like forever ago.
It does. It feels like forever ago that we were watching that game, but that was such an impressive win. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that the Eagles might be getting that extra half a point in a game like this. It does not surprise me. To the point where they'd probably be a 3.5 point favorite if Kansas City was in Philly.
That's an interesting question. What would the number be if it was played here at Lincoln Financial Field? Interesting. Yeah, the more and more I'm talking myself into this game, I can find myself easily siding with the Philadelphia Eagles. Absolutely. No, I mean, I'm in a freaking jersey, right?
That's looking nice too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The Kelly Green. I wore it. I brought it out. We're gonna be live. We're doing a lot.
Look at you, all bashful.
We're doing a lot. We're doing a lot. We're gonna be out in the town tonight. Let's go.
Are we?
Well,
we're gonna be at Hard Rock.
We're at the Hard Rock Cafe from 7 to 8. Damn right. After that, I don't know where it takes.
That's what I was afraid of.
No, I kid. We'll keep it calm. I'm trying to get the weather as far as Kansas City is concerned right now.
I did see rain and bluster. It was going to be a little windy. I'm not going to take any of this into account.
The precipitation?
I'm not going to take much of it because I don't know if it's going to be that crazy that it's going to be an amazing, big, giant factor in this game.
It's going to be wet, though. 80% chance of rain all throughout today and the night. So it's going to be wet out there in Kansas City. Will that have an impact on the game? You know what they say? More wind than anything. I do believe that it helps the Philadelphia Eagles in the sense that they stink against the pass. The numbers, every spot there, every show that I have stopped on so far today, they've been putting out these DVOA numbers against the pass.
Yeah.
And the Philadelphia Eagles are atrocious this season against the pass. Now, does that mean Mahomes and this vaunted offensive, passing attack here for Kansas City Chiefs are going to go off? No, because I don't think they really have much to offer other than Travis Kelce. But it is Mahomes. And if Sam Howell threw for 400 plus, I think Mahomes, if you really challenged him, I think he could as well. So,
and Bieniemy, I imagine, brought some of the same school of thought that he took in Kansas City and that Super Bowl and took him to Washington.
Yeah.
And I imagine Andy Reid's still going to retain some of that stuff and understand the ways to kind of beat this defense. It's been the same scheme. Nothing's really changed with Sean Desai. We have seen that has been a problem with Jonathan Gannon too, when they end up facing good quarterbacks, they don't end up doing well. And right now, as you just said, DVOA numbers, everything does look pretty atrocious. You do have to add in context of other teams, though. No, I don't think you can just say, well, the Eagles secondary is so bad right now that Kansas City is going to put up a bunch of yards and points. No, I think I like Kansas City laying the 2.5. I think they will be able to throw the ball, but I'm not thinking this is going to be 300, 400 yards. This Chiefs offense, especially its passing game, still sometimes can be hard to get going because they don't have any good top-end wide receivers. It's a lot of Rashee Rice, Sky Moore, nobody that's really going to burn you like they've had in previous years, and not even reliable receivers. I'm not a big fan of Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't think he's really any good, but still he was reliable. He was a veteran at that point. They're still trying to mold these guys. Rice is, I think, a first-year player. Sky Moore is in his second year. These are young guys that are still trying to learn the league, still trying to figure out what they do well. It's not a passing offense that I think is equipped to just beat you all the time, every single game. Again, I think they will have their success, but take what, for example, you said, and do I end up going Patrick Mahomes over 284 passing yards? I think it's props it. No, like that to me just doesn't feel right to take that.
Take a drink, would you?
I don't know why. I should be fine. I didn't even eat anything today. All I had was Skittles.
God.
One revelation I've had, Skittles gummies are lovely. I thought the gummy version of a Skittle.
What are we talking about here?
It's like the gummy bear consistency.
These
but
got
it's
marijuana
Skittles.
in them?
No. It's just Skittles gummies. It's instead of the hard shell.
When you bring up
candy.
Skittle gummies, that's where my mind goes.
Well, of course, that's where your mind goes. But that's why I was afraid of the after stuff for tonight.
No Skittle gummies tonight. I promise you that.
No, because they're not edible. They're really, I love Skittle gummies. I prefer them over the hard shell now.
Interesting. All right. Well,
but that's all I've eaten today. And that's it. So I don't know what's happening here.
All right. Well, Andy Reid, how about this? Andy Reid, we know what he is off the bye. 21-3. Dude's unbelievable off the bye. It's ridiculous. How about he's undefeated in Eagles and Chiefs games as a head coach?
Now how many times has he off of a bye played a team that's also off of a bye? It feels like it doesn't happen that often.
No, yeah, it doesn't. So I think you got to factor that into it. But
yeah, I think you do.
He absolutely knows the recipe for success. There's no denying it. This has been something that's been discussed for years, over a decade or so, with the off the bye week numbers. Now, what I did not know is that this dude hasn't lost in this matchup between these two teams as a head coach. 3 times as the Eagles head coach, he beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And in the 4 times as the Chiefs head coach, he beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I was actually at 2. Wasn't I at 2? I think it was at 2 of them. Wow, that's pretty cool to think about. I remember that 26-16 game when he first came back in 2013. That was a fun one to be at, even though they did win. Eagles ended up losing that game. Chip Kelly versus Andy Reid. But where we stand right here, right now, this game, a huge deal for both teams. As I said, if the Kansas City Chiefs lose, that's 3 losses for the Chiefs, and for the Eagles, 8-1 at the top. And all the good teams in the NFC, I felt like, won yesterday and won convincingly. So it was a big game for both teams. Perfect spot. And we talked about this a little on Friday. The odds, or the schedule makers, the way they drew this schedule up this season, this is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, this is a fun one.
The only thing they could have asked more is if the Chiefs and Eagles were both undefeated. That's it. You'd be like, oh, perfect world, perfect scenario. Both teams come in, 8-1 for the Eagles, so that'd be 9-0, and the Chiefs have 2 losses. I say, were they 6-2? So 8-0. If you had that happening right here, right now, look out. But other than that, where we're at, this is incredible. Monday Night Football. And
and even you want to go back to just the Super Bowl, and this is a rematch. It's fun because these two teams are completely different than they were last year. There's obviously similar players and some similar schemes. Everything is pretty much the same there, but in terms of how they're being productive, the Chiefs are mainly a defense-heavy team now. This team is winning a lot because of defense, and offense is lagging behind. A lot of it due to just not having great wide receivers, and that has hurt them a bit. And then with the Eagles, this isn't a running team anymore. This isn't the Eagles are going to pound you for 30, 35 runs for 4.5 yards per carry. This is now a passing offense. This is Jalen Hurts' team. And really, they're just dropping it back a ton. Is it going to be a little bit different now that he's healthier? It could be. Maybe the threat of running helps open up the running game, and people are correlating Cam Jurgens and him being out to when the running game got bad. But if you look at all of the grades for run blocking, the Eagles rank number 1 across the board in run blocking. In every if you look at ESPN, any website that has run blocking metrics, the Eagles are number 1. So the Eagles are blocking well. They just don't have the running backs, and the running backs aren't producing. They're some of the worst in rushing yards over expected. They can't run the ball consistently, can't do it well. So I don't think that just changes with Cam Jurgens. This is a passing team. A.J. Brown is your best player. Jalen Hurts is your biggest playmaker and your best player on the entire team. This is a passing offense. So I don't know how it changes just because, well, Kansas City has a bad run defense, so you run the ball more. And Kansas City's passing defense has been great, so don't throw the ball as much. The Eagles just aren't that team. They're a different team now, and productive in a different way.
Some numbers on DraftKings. Jalen Hurts passing yards 235.5. Patrick Mahomes with the high number 284.5. Anything stand out to you on that front? Or do you want to hammer the fact under on Mahomes, or is it just a slam dunk over as far as Jalen Hurts is concerned? 235.5. Again, I think a lot dictates on that knee. If he's still dealing with a little bit of a knee, why would
I think the bye week definitely helps.
Definitely helps, but it's not something that's just going to completely go away. So I think I would look at 235.5 and probably take the over on that one.
I'm taking the over on that as well.
Yeah.
Because the problem is Kansas City has had, great numbers against the pass, but it's a little bit different when it's Jalen Hurts and then also A.J. Brown. Those two are very clear big-time playmakers, and they're going to have success against anyone. Trent McDuffie isn't going to stop A.J. Brown. It's a completely different beast. It's even different. I think Miami gets a lot of their passing offense because they obviously have a lot of great speed but really good scheme. But even if you have good scheme against the Eagles, or you're doing things right, it can get broken so easily because they are physically just better than you. Jalen Hurts physically is very good, so he can get out of the pocket. He has he's throwing the ball really well. And A.J. Brown is just faster, bigger, stronger, overall, just a better player than you. And so I don't know how the Chiefs should be able to contain that when nobody else has.
So Snead is the guy to watch out for the Kansas City Chiefs defensive backs. He is a very aggressive, physical type of corner that will get up in the line of scrimmage. I was watching something on ESPN a little earlier today where a number of teams that he's gone up against with some really good wide receivers, he's kind of just met them at the line of scrimmage and just a really
good luck doing that to
AJ.
AJ.
Well, that's got to be expected. The first thing that goes through my mind with this game tonight is you got to be physical. Like, run downhill. Let's just outman them, outgun them up front, beat a better offensive line. I know that defense is really good, really special, so I know it's not easy, but this is going to be a tough game to go in there and win, and you're not going to do it by thinking back or dropping back, 40 times, being flashy, trying to find A.J. Brown with deep passes. I'm all for it. Like, I think A.J. Brown is the guy that needs the rock in his hands and at 81.5 yards. I love that for A.J. Brown going over, and as far as that total is concerned on DraftKings, but need physical, need that offensive line to open up some holes. Really just got to get after them, man. Or this could be a Kansas City game again. That's in Arrowhead. That they'll get that momentum going. You get Mahomes. He can, make the life really difficult, picking up the tough yards and moving the chains. So I don't know. I would like to see a physical game by the Philadelphia Eagles tonight.
Yeah, I would like to see that a lot on the offensive end. You're right. Even if it's just, getting the ball in A.J. Brown's hands and letting him get some yak, but just being physical overall in any way, whatever that is, whether it's Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, or even, like you just said, up front in the running game. But the other side of that is the defensive line. The pass rush numbers have been fine. I think you look at them and they're pretty much where you expect them to be. But during games, you can see them completely disappear a lot of the time and make no impact whatsoever until very late in the game. Dak Prescott had all day until finally the end. They started to get home. Happened against Washington, I think in Washington, where Sam Howell had all day. finally they start getting to him at the end of the game, and Hassan Reddick comes up with this big sack. You can't wait to do that against Patrick Mahomes. If you're not making him uncomfortable, you're giving him all day back there. I don't care how bad the receivers are, Sean. I don't care if Rice and Sky Moore aren't getting open initially, because Patrick Mahomes, his superpower, makes him one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play, is that he can buy you so much time that those guys can get open. And of course, Travis Kelce always finds a way to get open as well. But that's how the other receivers for Kansas City get involved. That's how the pass catchers don't become an issue, because it doesn't matter if you initially guard them, you initially stop the play. If the defensive line isn't getting home and they're not getting any pressure on Patrick Mahomes, then Patrick Mahomes is going to buy them enough time that they get open and they start making big plays. So this isn't waiting to the end to come up with that big sack, because if you wait for that, Patrick Mahomes has probably already sliced you up.
All right. We will come back. We'll hit on everything as far as this game is concerned, and we got a jam-packed day of programming. We'll get into all of that. We got a big Sunday slate that we got to reassess as far as what took place yesterday. And like I said, a lot of easy winners there, a lot of double-digit wins, and a lot of the good teams rolling on. But I have to bring this up as we are in our studio here, and the Maui Invitational is off and running. But they moved to a bigger gym this year?
Well, they had to.
Because of the fires?
Yeah. The fires got part of the, that, I think, whatever gymnasium they were using.
Oh, man. I figured I figured that was the reason, because I didn't hear anything about it. And we talked about this last week, where I was like, man, I'm surprised that they're still able to do it, but you understand why they want to. You want to keep that going. But wow, does that just take away the vibe? Just such a different vibe than what, been used to over the last few decades with the Maui Invitational. They're playing in a gigantic arena. I mean, it's pretty big.
Yeah. Look cool though. Had all the nice,
it looked, and there's nothing. I'm not taking, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm not watching. No, they went through
I'm imagining some
event.
of this is to benefit and help raise money. I would
Absolutely.
say in some way to help Maui.
All right. Maui Invitational is in Honolulu this year. And people are bringing up the soft rims from the old school, the gym. It was a little bit easier as far as getting to those totals, but still. All right. Well, look, we're off and running as far as the Maui Invitational. That is the official start for college basketball for me. It is now college basketball season. I know Villanova's had a couple games. We had the big upset last week by Penn. You saw pretty good games last week with Kansas and Kentucky. Arizona went on the road to beat Duke and Cameron. There's been a lot of cool things that have happened so far in college basketball. The season hasn't started until the Maui Invitational. Big gymnasium and all.
Is that the start? So today's the official start of college basketball for you?
Not even today, just now.
Okay, just now. Right now.
17 minutes ago, because we're 3 minutes into the game here.
17 minutes ago, college basketball officially started.
Tennessee and Cuse. All right. We'll bring it back to the Eagles, of course, Monday Night Football. But let's hit on what took place yesterday in the NFL. And I think we got to start with the Dallas Cowboys. I do. I know that it was a very easy win on the road against the Carolina Panthers. They covered the number. They won by 23. It was a rocking chair victory. But a lot of people are starting to make the case, and there's some numbers that back it up, that Dak Prescott is one of, if not the best, more accurate quarterbacks right now, more efficient quarterbacks in the league. Is that fair or foul, John Jansen, in your mind? Again, the Cowboys, they beat up on a terrible Carolina Panthers team. It's what they do. They beat up on the bad teams. They're big bullies. But when you get them against a good team, what do? Well, they shy away. And they even have the loss to Arizona as well. So we got to factor that in.
They do. Yeah.
7-3 on the season here. But Dak Prescott, what are you seeing from him as far as the difference? It seems like him and CeeDee Lamb have it going right now.
Yeah, him and CeeDee Lamb do, but this isn't, this might be the better year that they've had previously. I think some of that comes down to schedule so far, and we'll see that regress down a little bit. But Dak has really been good for a while now. Like, I don't know if we should be any surprised that Dak plays at a really high level, because he's played at a high level before. I think he's pretty much been playing at a high level since 2019. And if he didn't have an ankle injury, I think it was 2020 when he had that ankle injury, he had multiple 400-yard passing games 5 weeks into the season. he's been playing well. This is a really good quarterback. And I think Sean, we got to see it firsthand. It's one thing to see things on television, but to see how Dak played against the Eagles, Dak was on one against the Eagles. And so that was a very good team. You can bring up the late game stuff, him stepping out of bounds, but on a play-to-play basis, on a throw-to-throw basis, he was unbelievably good. And he was making not just the right plays, he was turning bad plays into good plays. He was getting out of the pocket, and he was making big plays with his arm down the field. It's all that stuff that Dak does that really I love, and I think he's a very good quarterback. Now, all the things you said about him, too, are never going to go away until he wins in the playoffs and he starts consistently winning big games, and I understand that. That's just part of the way we talk about the NFL, and for Dak, it's been long enough that you eventually have to start winning these playoff games. I understand that. But Dak himself individually, taking away some of that team stuff, has been very good. And I think we're just seeing probably the best of it for him this season. And it's something to worry about for sure.
So when I look at the Cowboys right now, I was very fired up after the Eagles allowed them to get back into the game and make it a little interesting there. I didn't look at the Cowboys as a team to fear, and I still don't.
You were very much down the Cowboys. Okay.
I still don't. I don't think
you don't think they're a threat even like a little bit?
No.
Okay, nothing.
Rank the threats in the NFC. 49ers are 1.
I guess you could put the 49ers
Detroit Lions are 2.
That's close.
Would you?
I think Dallas's defense has played better this season. Now, again, they sometimes do feel the loss of Trayvon Diggs being out, and I think they felt that a little bit against the Eagles, not too much, but it's going to be times where they feel that loss, but it's close. It's close between Detroit and Dallas. Now, Detroit does scare me because, again, what they did against the Bears, they came back. Wasn't a great game, a little sloppy, but their passing offense and just their offense in general, offensive structure, just is so good that they can explode for 30 points out of nowhere. That was out of nowhere against Chicago. Jared Goff had already thrown 3 interceptions, and here he is, late in the fourth quarter, just dropping dimes down the field. So that offense is good, and it's something to worry about. But I think we do have a cluster there of 3 teams, and however you want to rank them, fine with me. But it's very clear: San Francisco, Dallas, and Detroit all end up being threats. Do they all? Which ones are you scared of the most? I think San Francisco, just because of defense and defensive line.
Yep.
Because we saw. I know it's Tennessee. But we just saw Jacksonville look like, how they looked like without Chase Young and Bosa, just absolutely destroying them on every play. Like, that is destructive what San Francisco does. And it completely can take away a team that just dropped 34 yesterday when 2 weeks ago they couldn't even put up 3 points. That's how destructive they are. But it's always going to be offensive problems or quarterback problems that worry me. But are those the same problems we should worry about with Jared Goff or Dak Prescott? I don't know how you want to rank it. I don't know how you want to put it all together, but to me, those are 3 teams that are very close to me in terms of competing with the Eagles.
4 sacks yesterday for the 49ers. Over to the Niners. They handled business against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Depending on what the number was, what was the consistent number that you saw with that? Was it 12.5 or was it 13?
I think it was 13.
Yeah, I think it was 13
yeah.
as well. So you're looking at a push on that one, which is unfortunate for the 49ers backers, but I did
we were all over the right plays in those when we were talking with Roy. The passing game for San Francisco, that was a bad pass defense.
Yeah.
We were almost laughing at how bad Tampa Bay is and how many yards they've given up per game, and they pretty much took full advantage.
Yeah, no, and it's one thing that, again, this is a democracy, not a dictatorship on this show. I love it because we start spitballing. And what I was saying about Tampa Bay was the fact that they haven't been blown out. They hang tough with teams. Think about the Eagles. And the Eagles covered in that game. But you look at the game against the Buffalo Bills. Forgive me off the top of my head, but I just thought that 13 was going to be too many points. Clearly was not the case. And they were able to get it going in the air, the 49ers were. Brock Purdy, another great game. Brandon Ayuk had a big game. You had, of course, Kittle. Greg Kittle went off. George Kittle had a few catches. McCaffrey out of the backfield, one of the toughest, if not the toughest to guard. But the 49ers are for real. And that defense, only 4 sacks yesterday, but they are just all over
only
the
4
field.
sacks.
Yeah, only 4 sacks. They are all over the field, man. Warner's just a beast at the linebacker position. Secondary played really well. 49ers for me, that's where my mind goes as far as the toughest competition for the Eagles. And I'm sure that a lot of people would agree with me on that one. Unders, though, again, these unders, just incredible. Yesterday, let's just bring it up here as far as the big time trends as far as unders, overs, and favorites. Dave Tooley does a great job for VSiN. He said favorites improved to 107.51 straight up on the season, but did drop to 80, 70, and 8 ATS. So that's a little over 50% or 53% there. Goes into home teams. Unders improve to 97, 65, and 1. That's 59% on the year.
Taking the under tonight.
Primetime unders to 26 and 8. That's 76%. If the Denver Broncos would have converted and got that 2-point conversion yesterday, that would have been a world of trouble for a lot of people.
That would have been amazing for me with the Denver Broncos 2.5 bet. That would have been nice.
What a terrible play call, too.
Awful.
What a terrible play call.
Sean Payton's lost his mind. I mean, he's brought a stable offense to Denver.
Very lucky to win that game.
Yeah, oh yeah, very lucky. That doesn't mean that he's been fantastic, because I think he's done a lot of like that play he just ran there. A lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah. All right, look, we got a whole card that we got to hit from yesterday. We got some college football conversation to get into. We are also going to have Luke Arcaney join us at 4 o'clock, our Phillies insider. Some news with the Phillies over the weekend. Aaron Nola resigns. What's next for the Phillies? Because that's the question we need to be asking. Luke will try and answer that. Plus, he'll give us his thoughts on the contract. Did Aaron Nola leave money on the table? How much of that is true? I love when these players sign and everyone all of a sudden wants to create these stories. And, oh, well, he could have got what? He could have got this from the Atlanta Braves. He turned down $50 million here. All right. Is that the case? Is that true? Well, we'll find out from Luke Arcaney. He covers the Phillies for us here on the Gaylor. It is at halftime out in Maui, Tennessee, the 7th-ranked team in the country, up by 5 over Syracuse. We'll talk a little college ball, too, a little bit later in the show. Jam-packed day of programming. All right, we're live 3 to 5. We got you until then. At 5 o'clock, we send it to Kansas City for Green Legion Radio. 6 o'clock, beef up front.
Beef.
In studio, Ryan Coyle, Sean Bernard. They got you from 6 to 7, and then they'll send it to us back again with Irving Fryer, teaming up with the folks over at Green Legion Radio, live from the Hard Rock Cafe in Center City, Philadelphia. A great place to catch the game, catch all the action, great food, including wings. Might have to sample some of those goods. I feel like I'm turning into a chicken wing these days.
I ate a lot of chicken wings yesterday.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Oh, man, those wings were sick. I went to PJ's and ordered them up.
Oh, nice. PJ's great wings.
Dude, all I do is eat PJ's wings anymore. That's it.
I'll shout out. I went to Tap 24 in Media.
That's a good spot.
Great spot. The wings are phenomenal. Some of the best wings in Media there. So love them.
Jeremy Anderson checking in on Facebook. He says, yeah, you should be scared about the Lions. Jeremy, I'm not scared of anyone. I hope you didn't take it as such. I think the Lions are a good football team, but I'm not scared because guess what? It's most
not
like
scared, but they're starting to, at least in my mind, become a threat.
Well, you know what is the difference for me is when you are a team that can't get it going, make mistakes, but find a way to win that football game. And they did that yesterday. That's a resilient squad, man. That was a big time fourth quarter comeback against the terrible Chicago Bears squad. I get it, but you got to give credit to
Justin
Detroit.
Fields played well, though.
Yes,
Justin Fields had a game yesterday.
He threw the ball really well. Josh Allen played really well yesterday. The Buffalo Bills looked good. Was that all they had to do was fire their offensive coordinator, bring my guy Joe Brady up to the booth, and now all of a sudden that's going to be a threat?
Poor Ken Dorsey, because I don't know. They just needed to make a move.
Man.
Right, okay. But they have been playing well. It's the turnovers that just got to stop.
Correct. And
because they move the ball so well. Yeah. So I just, as long as the turnover stop, Buffalo is a good team. But the thing is, once something like that happens and it just keeps happening, can you prevent yourself from making that much of an issue over and over again in a season? And that's really tough to stop once it happens.
And, oh, by the way, next opponent up for the Philadelphia Eagles, the Buffalo Bills on
Kelly Greens. Kelly Greens are back for that.
Nice. We like it. All right, Daily Ticket Ronan, do not go anywhere. We'll get back into a lot more from the NFL back after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia. Jam, but getting better on 95 southbound from Commodore Barry down to Neiman's Road. There's a crash now moved off to the shoulder. All travel lanes are open. On the Vine Expressway eastbound at Jam 76 across to 8th Street, a crash there on the shoulder as well. Brendan Joseph, Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Boost Infinite.
Boost Infinite's new wireless technology switches between networks, giving you the best service at a lower price. Switch today. Call 855-55-BOOST, visit boostinfinite.com, or go to amazon.com and search for Boost iPhone 15.
I woke up feeling sick with cold and flu symptoms the other day, and I thought I might miss my son's soccer game. It's a big game, and I knew how important it was to him for me to go. So I took Mucinex Fastmax Kickstart Severe Cold and Flu, and now I'm feeling much better and can go to his game.
New Mucinex Kickstart gives all-in-one-and-done relief with a morning jolt of instant cooling sensation. Come back with a kick with new Mucinex Kickstart. Use as directed.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
It's Ellie Kemper, co-host of the podcast Born to Love, with some straight talk for Walmart shoppers. Walmart is the place to go for savings. And now you can save even more with Straight Talk Gold or Platinum Unlimited wireless plans. You'll get unlimited 5G data and a free Walmart Plus membership, which includes free delivery from your local Walmart store, savings on gas, plus so much more. Not to mention my new nickname, Savvy McSaver Cash. Switch or learn more today at Walmart or StraightTalk.com.
Requires active service. One offer per eligible Straight Talk account. Standard data usage applies. For Walmart Plus, $35 order minimum for free delivery. Restrictions apply. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Covering the full circle of recovery and addiction, the Recovery 360 podcast provides information and inspiration through conversations on addiction and recovery. In each episode, learn from experts, those in recovery, and advocates in the field of treatment and recovery. So whether you're struggling with addiction, supporting someone in their journey, or simply seeking knowledge, tune into Recovery 360, brought to you by Recovery Centers of America. Available now on all podcast platforms.
I got to ask, are you looking to switch your phone service? Well, what if there was a carrier that wasn't just another phone company, one that's brand new, built with technology for the next 50 years, not the last 50? Well, now there is. It's Boost Infinite Wireless, the only carrier that switches between its own network and the other top 2 networks to find the best quality calls and data for you anywhere, anytime. So why limit yourself to one network when you can get 3 and you get a low price unlimited wireless plan that gives you a new iPhone every single year? It's the power of new technology that gives you better service at lower prices. Boost Infinite Wireless. Boost Infinite Wireless. Call 855-55-BOOST. It's 1-855-55-BOOST. BOOST. BoostInfinite.com. That's BoostInfinite.com, or go to Amazon.com and search for Boost iPhone 15 today. See BoostInfinite.com for terms and conditions.
Shop Macy's Black Friday specials for amazing deals on gifts they'll love now while supplies last. Like 25% off Nike for him, her, and kids. 75% off fine jewelry. And 10 to 50% off select appliances from Black & Decker, Cuisinart, Instant Pot, and more. Plus, get it faster with store pickup. Now at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply. Please note that stores are closed Thanksgiving Day.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer, and some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate razor, while others need a Gillette anti-chafe stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Hey kids, breakfast!
Wow, making pancakes. Seems like you're feeling much better. It was the Mucinex Fastmax Kickstart Cold and Flu, right?
Yep, good thing I took it the other morning.
New Mucinex Kickstart. All in one and done relief. Use as directed.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
We'll close out the NFL's 11th week tonight with a big one. It's a Super Bowl 57 rematch between the Eagles and the Chiefs. It's in Kansas City. Over to baseball, where the Phillies and ace Aaron Nola have agreed on a new contract. The right-hander gets $172 million over the next 7 years. And to the hardwood tonight, St. Joe's will visit 16th-ranked Kentucky. The Hawks are 3-1 after falling to Texas A&M Commerce. I'm Scott Davidson.
This Thanksgiving, Paramount Plus is serving up a tasty NFC East matchup when the Cowboys aim for another big win against the rival Commanders. It all kicks off at 4:30 Eastern. The NFL on CBS streams live on Paramount Plus.
This station is participating in a nationwide sweepstakes where one lucky winner wins a trip for four to be part of a band's entourage for one evening and see them on tour. Prize provided by AEG. For more information about the sweepstakes, go to the station's website and click the contests tab.
We made love until we cried and cried ourselves to laughter. Laughed until we realized our hearts were struck with fear. How in just a moment's time could one see forever after? I gently lie beside you and dream away my tears. Won't you let me treat you kind? We're gonna burn shine. Won't you let me treat you kind? We're gonna burn shine.
Oh! Thanksgiving week. Here we are. Ready to go, ready to feast. We got Monday Night Football tonight.
Ooh, feast. I see what you did there. With the week it is.
I stuffed my face all weekend. Didn't do much.
Was it all just chicken wings? Anything else? Did you?
Ice cream. I'm trying to go. I'm trying to lose weight.
You're eating the John Jansen diet.
I'm trying to lose weight too. Like that's definitely not the way to do
What do you mean? Wings and ice cream are fantastic things for weight loss, just in moderation. You know,
wings and ice cream. Yeah. Anyways, all right. From NFL Sunday, let's continue to discuss what took place yesterday. Of course, Countdown to Payout presented by Mall Chevrolet. Speaking of Mall Chevy, coming up here around about 10 minutes, Dante Vinicola from Mall Chevy, the general sales manager, will be calling in, checking in with us to discuss what's happening over there at Mall Chevy and give us his thoughts on tonight's game as well. And Aaron Nola, he's a diehard Philadelphia sports fan, so I want to ask him about the Aaron Nola deal that went down over the weekend. A lot of money, a lot of years, but I am all right with it. Just got to continue to add more, and hopefully the Phillies will continue to do that. Coming up around 4:05, we'll have Luke Arcady talk a little bit more about that. From Thursday night, of course, we saw Baltimore win against the Cincinnati Bengals. That was easy. That primetime game actually did go over the number. Last night stayed under to tonight's game. DraftKings Sportsbook still holding steady at 46, looking like a 2.5-point line right now. And for the people out there that, now we're up to 3. Now it's at 3.
It's up to 3?
Yeah, I got a 3.
Go to the Birds. Bet the Birds.
I got 3 catching 3. I'll take that.
Yeah, if you're betting the Eagles, take that number.
It's going to be a good game. All right, let's continue, though, and talk a little bit about some of the games, again, from yesterday. We already hit on the Cowboys and Carolina Panthers. One quick note on the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns game. Kenny Pickett's atrocious.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Sean Brace.
Wow.
Welcome.
Wow.
Welcome to the right side of things.
Kenny.
And that wasn't Cleveland's been really good on defense. I get that. But that wasn't Cleveland's defense. That wasn't scheme that was holding Kenny Pickett back. That wasn't anything.
He's terrible.
He was atrocious.
Yeah.
None of those passes were even remotely on target.
No, I agree. So that's all we have to say about that one. We already hit really on Detroit and the Bears. Big time.
Kenny Pickett or Zach Wilson?
Kenny.
You sure about that?
Look, I'm ready to take Tommy DeVito over all of them.
DeVito was slinging it. He made a couple good throws.
DeVito. Man got mom's spaghetti.
Man had
jokes.
a little chicken parm behind those passes.
Everybody, dude, how embarrassing is that? Everybody was getting their jokes off yesterday. Like, dude, you got to move out of your house. You got to move out of the house with the family after winning a game on the road against the Commanders.
This also, what I love about the NFL is just that Tommy DeVito, everybody's just writing off as this really bad quarterback. No way he beats Washington. But on the flip side of that, some of the other things that were happening this week, Sam Howell was getting so much love. Sam Howell's he's franchise quarterback now, balling out. He's going to be amazing. Trevor Lawrence sucks. Trevor Lawrence isn't good. This guy's terrible. And how the NFL, how it changes 1 week where Sam Howell, you go, oh, is he? Is this guy any good? Kenny Pickett, he's winning. And then he doesn't win. Trevor Lawrence stinks, and he just put together a phenomenal game. And then, of course, Tommy DeVito, we all thought that, he can't maybe play in the NFL.
Does stink. Get out of here. He shouldn't be playing in the NFL, but he did
He
win.
made some good throws. Don't do that to DeVito. Not that I say he's amazing or anything, but he's not. It's not like he's. I don't know. It's not like he's that bad.
The command. He's 18 and 26.
He's not Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's very bad. Zach Wilson may be one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life.
The Commanders waved the white flag. It's still inexcusable because they turned the football over 100 times. Penalties. Like, they waved the white flag on the season. They traded Chase Young and Sweat. And, I still have no idea how Sam Howell was able to do what he did against the Eagles. But then again, the Eagles lost to the Jets too as well. But, yeah, we'll see. Like you just pointed out with the week-to-week, follow it up, DeVito. Followed it up. Nice win. I still think it's probably the wrong thing to do. All these teams like the Arizona Cardinals, the Giants, the Bears, lose. Do it right. Don't try and win these games. Stop competing. Get the better draft pick this upcoming offseason. You're going to have 2 quarterbacks.
Wait, are you telling Arizona to stop competing?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Don't put Kyler Murray in there. Get him off the field.
Well, the thing is, if you tank, you're doing it for a quarterback.
No, not necessarily with that. If you want to keep Kyler Murray, I'm okay with that. If that's the case, you're going to get a king's ransom for the number 1 overall pick.
Because Kyler didn't have the greatest guy. I still thought he did some good things yesterday, and obviously Arizona's Arizona's hindered by what they have on offense. But with the way that I just see it in other places, some people are souring on Caleb Williams. Drake May, it's the UNC thing, so maybe you could talk yourself out of Drake May.
Joe Burrow walked out and addressed the media when he got hurt.
Yeah, exactly. With
Caleb Williams.
Okay. I don't feel like having that discussion.
Caleb Williams, no.
But
we have to be honest with the assessment.
If you like Arizona,
he is a little bit of a maniac. He was the type of guy that would paint his nails and he wrote F whatever they were playing. Like that, you can't do that as a franchise quarterback. You can't do that.
Okay, still amazing. But
I'm still drafting with number one overall.
Are
Even
there,
if he doesn't
is there any world where you would, if you're in Arizona situation, everybody just assumes they're moving on from Kyler Murray, get the quarterback?
No, I don't.
But
No, I
is
don't
Kyler
agree
Murray,
with that.
Okay.
I don't agree with that. I think that's still in the air that you hang on to Kyler Murray. Absolutely. Still believe that.
I just
that's
bring it
the
up
case.
because I think everybody just dismissed Kyler Murray very quickly.
Yes, they did.
Because of the injury, and they weren't playing well by the end of it. The guy still is a very good quarterback.
Very good.
That just was not getting any help from Cliff Kingsbury,
Yep.
who ran a child's offense.
Yep.
And they moved on from that. I think Kyler Murray can still do really good things in the NFL. They obviously need to retool. They need to get more players, skill position players.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's that easy for Arizona to just move on from
I
Kyler.
got the guy. You ready? Marvin Harrison Jr. There you go. Now I'm the general manager of the year for Arizona. All right. We get the number one overall pick. We move back to 3. We end up with Marvin Harrison Jr., a couple other picks. Now you're cooking. It's not that difficult. Really,
I would love to see Kyler with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Right? And then you can continue to add more on top of that because like I said, you'll have the number one overall pick. A team would give up a ton to get Caleb Williams or Drake May, one or the other. Pretty easy for me. Anyways, long way to go until we're at that point. Thank the Lord above. Let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. Big time bounce back win against the Raiders there. Did not cover the double digits, but they're getting healthy. And talking about Ramsey at the cornerback position, adding a little something that the Miami Dolphins didn't have. 2 interceptions yesterday. Are you starting to look at the Dolphins in a little different way?
Oh, you have to. As all the teams are getting better, or some of the teams getting better in the AFC, I think mostly looking at just the top with Baltimore and Kansas City, this is starting to worry. It has to worry you that they can't compete with those teams. You know, there's not many in the AFC. It looks like are going to be competitive because now Joe Burrow's out, but I would say Buffalo is better than Miami. For as much as we panicked about Buffalo and they have this big turnover problem that's just going to loom over them all season, they're still better than Miami, and they destroyed Miami and Buffalo. Buffalo could still win that division. Miami's not some juggernaut. That was a perfect chance for them to look like finally the team they were in the beginning of the year. You're at home. You're against the Raiders. Bad defense. Your passing offense should look great. Jalen Waddle should have a big game. Tyreek Hill should have a big game. Tua should have a big game. Your running attack should be amazing. You know, everything should click. You should put up 30 or more points, make it easy, win that game. And they couldn't do it. That offense has been, it was like that last season, if I remember too. They started to fade away in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
So there are definitely some questions that need to be answered.
Yeah,
with Miami.
A nice win yesterday. As I said, did not cover the number. Vegas played really hard, so maybe something is definitely changing in the water out there in Las Vegas. Shout out to Vegas for the F1 race too. That was absolutely amazing over the weekend. Looked really good on television. We'll continue with the NFL conversation. Birds in just a second, but of course, you know what we got to do. Every Monday, we check in with our friends over at Mall Chevrolet in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Be sure to check them out online and all things socials over at Mall Chevy. And the general sales manager, I'm sure his ears were ringing, especially yesterday, because on Countdown to Payout, we were yelling his name left and right. It's the great Dante Venicola joining us right now. And Dante, hope all is well, my friend, as we are heading into Thanksgiving week here. And I'm sure you guys are doing it big. You guys and girls are doing it big at Mall Chevy as always. But we got ourselves a pretty big game tonight. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. We're busy here at Mall Chevrolet, and hopefully we can get an Eagles victory.
That's right. That's what it's all about. Now, Thanksgiving, of course, giving back. And, of course, the community is number one in our minds. And it really is for you guys. We talk about this all the time every week with the hits here. You guys do a ton for the community over there at Mall Chevrolet. Thanksgiving, what's happening? What's the vibe inside the showroom over there at Mall Chevrolet?
Well, usually for years past, you would get busy. You start off getting a little busy on Monday, and then as it gets closer to Thanksgiving, you get pretty busy because everybody wants to go home and go back to their family in a nice, beautiful, brand new car or truck.
Amen to that.
So we'll accommodate them.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a way to make a statement. You roll in Thanksgiving on Thursday to mom and pop's house, and all of a sudden,
look at me, mom.
That's what I'm talking
Look
about.
at what a good boy I've been.
That's right. Well, there's no other place they need to go than Mall Chevy over there in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Check them out online at mallchevy.com. All you got to do is shout out Dante. He'll take great care of you. And Dante, I said this because we actually have a guy that's our guy, Sean Bernard. He's in the market for a new vehicle. And I said, look, all I ask you is to go over to Mall Chevy and just hear what they have to say. Start there, correct? Isn't that the right way to go about it?
Well, Sean, I mean, I always say if you don't want to buy a car from me, then that means you don't want to buy a car. So I can pretty much help you out and overcome anything or any issue or answer any question that they had. Even if they don't want to buy a car from me, if it's a referral from you guys, I'll give them the best advice I can, make sure they get the deal.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's see, it's that easy. All right, mallchevy.com. Check them out. Everything you need to know is right there online. All right, Dante, want to get your thoughts on tonight's game? Rematch for the Super Bowl. We got the juices going today. Finally, it took a little bit, and I think it had something to do with the fact that both teams were off for the last week with the buys. Everybody's rested. We know how Andy Reid does off of the bye. He's pretty good there, but we got ourselves a pretty good team as well. What are your thoughts on tonight's game?
I mean, I think it's just going to be like the Super Bowl. I think the last one with the ball wins this game. I think it's going to be a battle, and whoever holds on to the ball at the end, hopefully Andy Reid does his usual, clock mismanagement, and we can kick a field goal and win the game. But who knows? But it's going to be whoever has the ball last. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. And I would be a lot more confident than it wasn't an Arrowhead.
Yeah, me too. And it is up there in Arrowhead. 46 is our total right here. 2.5 point spread underneath the 3-point spread, which is interesting because I think that tells me something as far as the odds makers, Dante. Like, if you can get Patrick Mahomes at home under a field goal, it's almost like they want all the Chiefs money to come in. Maybe a lot of people are backing the Eagles here. I don't know.
Well, that's the way I would look at it. It's a pretty weird line. 2.5. You're better off just making it a pick at that point. I mean, why not 3? So that means somebody's going to have to miss an extra point.
Yep. No, you're right. All right. Well, let's see. You get the great advice all over the place from Dante. You need relationship advice? Just holler at Dante too. We can help you there on that one.
We'll help you out with everything. We're a one-stop shop at Mall Chevy.
Dante, big news over the weekend, real quick, if I could. Aaron Nola re-signed. Of course, it's a football Monday here. Of course, with Monday Night Football, we haven't really talked about it too much. Are you okay with Aaron Nola getting that big deal and coming back to the Phillies probably to close out his career?
I mean, is anybody really worth $24 or $25 million a year? I mean, how many games did he win last year? 12? 11?
Yeah, let me pull up his stats as far as that is concerned. And it gets a little crazy with the whole wins and losses because of how they handle pitchers these days. But he's a workhorse. He's a workhorse. We know that much.
I mean, Nolan Ryan would have to ask for $1 billion if he pitched today, right?
He would. Correct.
I mean, you don't need a middle reliever and you don't need a closer.
Nice work by you. 12 wins to the T last year. He's 12-9. Yeah. He had a 4.46 ERA. He eats innings, like you just said. Like Nolan Ryan would just get paid. You just give him a franchise. That'd be your only way of getting him.
I mean, he's a longtime Philly. He deserves it. He deserves the contract. What else is out there? If you're going to pay somebody $20 or $25 million, just keep the homegrown guy and let him finish out his career. At that point, you know what you got with Nola.
Yeah, exactly.
He usually doesn't get a whole hell of a lot of support from his team. So,
no, you're right, and hopefully that they're not going to be done. That's my big case. I'm like, you know what? I'm all right with this move right here, right now. Talk to me in February. Like, I want to see the total package. What else are they bringing here?
I still think they need another pitcher. And they definitely need a third baseman.
Yeah, I agree with you on all those as well. Dante Venicola from Amal Chevy over there in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. They are the South Jersey's #1 volume sales dealer. And like I said, with Dante Venicola, all you got to do is get on over there, check out the new rides. I mean, man, you guys got some beautiful cars. Every time I pull up this website, you guys got new ones out there. You now have I know we talk about the ones that maybe are a little up and up. The Chevy Corvette here, all white, pre-owned 2023. That thing is gorgeous, Dante.
I'm looking at it right on my showroom floor, and I just got in a black with teal blue interior Z06, which is the creme de la creme for sports cars.
My goodness. Dante.
Check that out. It'll be pictured online actually today.
All right. I'll be paying attention to that one. And, of course, if any of these vehicles catch anybody's eye that's listening right now, get on over to Mall Chevrolet in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Shout out Dante, and hopefully you guys will be talking about an Eagles victory tonight. Dante, always a pleasure, sir.
Sean, thank you, guys.
My man. Hey, have a great holiday and give our best to everybody over at the dealership. You too, man. There he is. Once again, Dante Venicola over on the Gambler Hotline. We're going to keep it moving here because coming up next, Luke Arcani's going to join the party. Let's talk a little about Aaron Nola. He is fired up about the fact that he's coming back. Look, I'm happy, but there's got to be more. There's got to be more.
No, but.
There's got to be more.
No, but.
There's got to be more.
Why is there a but after that?
Because there has
no but.
Aaron Nola at its as the whole only thing that they've done this whole offseason isn't enough.
Okay. All right. Well,
that's my point.
I get it, but that's still a pretty good start, I'd say.
Great
Start.
Talk to me in February.
Still in talks to get this Japanese pitcher? Yeah, it's a good start. Why is there a but? Why is there anything other than this is great for right now in November?
I didn't say mainly but, meaning that. I just meant it as a big picture. That's all. But is, look, this team wasn't good enough to win it this year. This team wasn't good enough to beat the Arizona Diamondbacks in the NLCS this year. It is so hard to win a World Series. You need bigger bats or better bats. You need a deeper pitching staff. You need help anywhere you can get it. And I think the Phillies are in a great position, so I don't want them to waste it. Of course, you got Bryce Harper out there, like as if his highlight reel isn't enough to get somebody in here. That's all I know. All right, Luke Arcane's going to join us on the other side. Don't go anywhere. More after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
There's a big jam forming on 42 northbound between 295 and 676. 4 right lanes are blocked by a crash, just the left lane squeezing by. Schuylkill eastbound stop and go Montgomery to University, westbound from the Boulevard out to Gladwin. Brendan Joseph, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. What's more amazing than nacho fries? Getting a regular order of nacho fries every day for up to 30 days for $10 with the Nacho Fries Lovers Pass. Become a rewards member and purchase the pass on the Taco Bell app for a limited time only. Redeem on the app at participating Taco Bell stores. Terms apply.
Hey, Sean Brace here, and I got the Eagles on the brain. It's week 11, baby, of course. And you know what really gets me pumped up? Well, other than a pick six, Verizon Run the Playlist. And it's only available on Apple Music. The Eagles have their own playlist. There's walkout songs like The Fire by the legendary Roots Crew, warm-up songs like Getting Jiggy With It by Will Smith, and there's even tailgate songs like Dreams and Nightmares by the great Meek Mill. Get into the Eagles spirit and listen now. Just head on over to Apple Music and search Verizon Run the Playlist.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there.
Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Hey, it's Amanda, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nugget trays is that they're so easy for the holidays. They're warm and flavorful. It's always the crowd pleaser. When I put down a nugget tray, everyone is happy.
Hey, this is Brian, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nugget trays is the joy that it brings to me and everybody around me during the holidays. They're warm, juicy, and delicious.
Cater the holidays with Chick-fil-A today. Available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Looking to switch your phone service? Check out Boost Infinite Wireless. Its new technology switches between its own network and the other top 2 networks to find the best quality calls and data for you anywhere, anytime. And you can get a low-priced, unlimited wireless plan that gives you a new iPhone every year. So switch today. Call 855-55-BOOST. That's 1-855-55-BOOST. Visit boostinfinite.com. That's boostinfinite.com. Or go to amazon.com and search for Boost iPhone 15. See boostinfinite.com for terms and conditions.
The free iHeartRadio app is your home for the holidays. Open the app and click on the holiday banner or search iHeart Holiday and start listening to your local holiday station. Plus stations playing all kinds of holiday music, Christmas classics, Christmas jazz, country, R&B, tons of playlists, even podcasts. Yay! Our gift to you, the perfect holiday soundtrack. Join the millions of listeners on the iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
iHeartRadio.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D. Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia.
All right, we got to put the football to the side just for a little bit. Monday Night Football coming down at 3, just to let you know on DraftKings Sportsbook. Now gone. back to 2.5. Doesn't really surprise me all that much. Oh, thank you, Turkey. Back getting a little crazy, getting a little restless because Thanksgiving right around the corner. Let's go. As I said, we'll bring it back to Monday Night Football. Actually, we'll mix it in with our next guest because I know he's all fired up. I see he's got the Birds jersey on right now. He is extremely fired up because his guy, Aaron Nola, will be back in a Phillies uniform for quite some time. He covers the Phillies and all things MLB for us here on The Gambler, the one and only Mr. Luke Arcaney. Luke, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. What's going on?
Tell me.
I'm ready for the Birds, baby.
Yeah, ready for the Birds. Monday Night Football, of course, number one. But as I said, with the new contract for Aaron Nola, just rolled him out today, press conference. I know you tuned in and you're able to catch some of it, so I want to know if anything popped off as far as or made your ears perk that was being discussed today down there at Citizens Bank Park. But as a whole, I just want to ask this question with Aaron Nola in the contract, because I think there's some people out there now mixing up. Oh, who really wanted him? Blah, blah, blah. The Phillies were bidding against themselves. Your thoughts on the contract itself for Aaron Nola? Did the Phillies overpay? Did they have to? Did Aaron Nola give him a hometown discount? Just walk us through when that deal came through yesterday. What was going through your mind? And then with your research, what were you able to dig up as far as the numbers are concerned?
So I think in regards to the number of the contract, it seems a little big for Nola, right? When you see 100 and anything really over 150, 160 mil, that's a really big contract. 172 million for Aaron Nola, for a guy who hasn't necessarily been the most elite of the elite, but has been a consistently great pitcher since he's entered the league. What stands out to me is the amount of years. And while a lot of people think giving Aaron Nola a 7-year contract is maybe a bit crazy, the Phillies did that strictly to take years or to at least take money out of each year. So now Nola is only making $24.5 million a year, rather than what I think we all thought was going to be around 30, 35 on a shorter deal. So rather than maybe a 5/175 deal that I think was thrown around, or even like a 6-year 210, which was kind of some of the numbers that were thrown around. Now it's relative to the 24 range, which is big for the Phillies. The Phillies have made it clear that they are focused on now. They'll worry about 2030 when they get there. They're going to be an old baseball team in 2030. They're going to be really old, right? They're going to have Harper pushing into his 40s, or pushing close to into his 40s. They're going to have Trey going to the end of his contract. Nola's going to be in like his 15th season pitching for the Phillies. So they are going to be rather older. But at the same time, we know the guys that they have coming up. It's pretty obvious that Dave Dombrowski is still trying to load up. He's trying to get these guys. They are still in the hunt for Yoshinobu Yamamoto, which would be absolutely.
Say it again. Say the name again. Say it again.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Let me tell you, man, he screams just filth.
He screams the LA Dodgers.
Dude,
That's what he
I know.
screams.
He screams the Boston Red Sox.
Oh, really? Is that it?
I just think Boston has a really good Japanese recruiting thing going on up there. So they've always been able to pull the Japanese players up into Boston, which has been something that's benefited them a lot, especially over the last few years. But listen, Bryce Harper's sending Yamamoto's camp promo videos about Philadelphia. Apparently, Harper's doing everything he can to get this guy here. Wheeler, Nola, Yamamoto, Ranger top 4 would be pretty gross. He's won the Triple Crown over in Japan the last 3 seasons. He's had an ERA under 2. He's won over 15 games the last 3 years. He is one of the most disgusting curveballs I've ever seen in my life. It's basically Kershaw from the right side. It's gross. So if the Phillies have any possible chance of bringing this guy to Philly, it seems like they're kind of going all in for him. There was 2 big reports that they are still pushing in the market for him. I think if they lose out on him, I think they won't really go for another big starter. But I really think if they are going to look, it's probably going to be Yamamoto. I don't think they're really going to look at a guy like Snell. He's going to be pricey now, especially with Nola. He'll definitely make north of probably 180, 190 now that Nola's already signed. But I think it's big for Nola to set the market, and I think that was big for the Phillies. If Blake Snell signed first, Aaron Nola's contract would have been a lot higher. He would have probably been pushing 200 mil if he saw Snell get around 180, 190. So I think it's big, and it's pretty obvious that the Phillies wanted to get this deal done. They said from the jump, getting Nola back on this team was their number one priority. And they did absolutely that. It seems like Nola took less money to come back here. He had around a $27, $28 million year offer from the Braves, and apparently declined to come back to Philly for less money per year. So just another example of athletes wanting to come back to the city of Philadelphia, taking the, in quotes, hometown discount to be back in the city, which is great because, I mean, Aaron Nola basically grew up here. I mean, he was drafted back in 2014. By the time his contract's done, he'll have over 15 years in a Phillies uniform, which is crazy. It'll be, other than Mike Schmidt, he will be the longest tenured Philly in the history of the organization by the time his contract is done.
That's insane. Absolutely insane.
A lot of years. 16 years is a lot of years.
Yeah. And you know, look, you brought it up where it's like we hope that would be the case. It's the best case scenario if you know, we're talking about these players getting into their late 30s, early 40s, you know, like it would just be insane if
They're
that
going to
was
be old, right? They're going to be an old baseball team. But
again,
that happens.
But no, I would say to that, it's a great problem to have if it does play out like that. That means they're winning. That means those guys are still here. That means no one's asked for a trade. No one's losing their mind. No, you know, like things happen fast when players aren't performing or you know, getting booed. You know,
I mean, if you have Harper, Turner, Nola, Schwarber, maybe JT here till 2028, 2029, you're probably winning at least a championship in that frame. They're not going to keep this core of guys around just to lose every year. So if all of these guys are here, that's probably a good sign for them.
All right. To the naysayers out there, and not the vocal ones, but the more so like, man, is Aaron Nola really that good? What do you say to them?
I say he's consistent. And the biggest need in any athlete is the ability to stay on the field. Athletes can be only can be as good as their skill can take them. But them being on the field is what a team needs the most. I couldn't tell you the last time Aaron Nola missed a start. I would have to believe it's been a few years since he truly missed a start because of injury. He's one of the deepest in the games. I believe he's second in the league in innings pitched over the last 5 years, just behind Garrett Cole. And he's not that far behind Garrett Cole either. He's had 5 seasons of over 200 strikeouts. He's had 7 seasons with an ERA plus over 100. He's had really 4 fantastic years. This year we know was a bit of a dud with the home runs, a lot of issues. But granted, come playoff time, Nola was fantastic. Take away maybe that last start that he had, but other than that, was great. So I think what we need to realize when we see a guy that some people will think is an inconsistent pitcher get a number this hefty is 29 other teams would have loved to have Nola's workload in their organization for the next 5 years. Whether they offered him a contract or not, if you can get a guy that doesn't miss starts and pitches over 190 innings every year, you're going to do whatever you can to get that guy. So I think the Phillies know that they had to lock that up, and they did. They losing Nola for Snell would have maybe on paper looked better, but I truly believe that it would have hurt the Phillies rotation. You're losing a ton of innings, no matter who you put into Nola's role. You're losing a ton of innings, and you're losing durability. Blake Snell has dealt with some injuries over the last few years. These guys out on the market haven't been anywhere as close to reliable as Nola has been. So I think the Phillies, for one, wanted to bring Nola back because he's homegrown and he's been here for so long and he's proved himself. But for two, because he's durable and you know what you're getting out of Nola when he goes out there.
Luke Arcanic covers the Phillies for the Gambler. No Twitter handle. What
Yeah,
happened, Luke?
I'm in Twitter lockdown, man.
What'd you do?
I don't know why. I had to mess with something. My birthday from like years ago when I made my account, it was like off by a year, and then I went to switch it back yesterday, and they gave me a underage consent file that I had to claim. So I waiting to hear back. I got a pretty promising email this morning, but I don't know, man. It was just like I literally hit one button last night, and then it said, boom, white screen. You are locked out of your account temporarily. And I was like, you got to be kidding.
Well, normally you can find him last name first. That's Arcani Luke. But
hopefully by tomorrow. Hopefully by tomorrow we'll be back.
Hey, it happens. It happens. We were dealing with it for our station. All right. To the big item, of course, this offseason and all things Major League Baseball, Shohei Ohtani. I'm not even bringing it up from the Phillies perspective. I'm more so wondering where the hell you think he ends up. Anything you're hearing? What's the latest? You know, I'm pretty sure the Dodgers have to be high in the list. I think I've been putting the Mariners a little higher than other people out there. Is there a dark horse team in your opinion? What are we hearing? Even the Atlanta Braves got mentioned. Is there any truth behind that?
I don't think so. I really think it's the Dodgers. And there was a huge report that came out the other day that hinted at the Dodgers possibly trying to go after Ohtani and Trout. How true that is, I don't necessarily know. But that was a big thing that got really blown up over the last few days, which, I mean, if there's a team that usually has the talent and the prospects to be able to make a trade, it's probably the Dodgers. So the Dodgers seem to be in the hunt maybe for both of those guys. I know we've kind of turned our head. There's been a big debate here in Philly about if people want Trout. I think there's probably a good chance that he won't come here. I think we can all hold out hope. I mean, I would love Mike Trout. I know John just joined us. I don't know what John's thoughts are on Trout. Thumbs up or thumbs down there. But I would probably have to say Shohei's probably going to end up with the Dodgers. It just seems like the most biggest fit. I think the Dodgers let Trey Turner walk a few years ago for a reason. I think they had their eyes set on a bigger project in the next few years. And I think that's going to be Shohei.
John, from the fresh off the appearance at VSiN, you got anything?
Oh, the Trout stuff is fascinating because I would hate to say no to that.
Whoa.
It's just, it always is.
You can't say no to that.
No, you can't. Right. That's the thing. You can. You just want it to be.
No, you can't.
You want it to be right. You don't want to.
You cannot say no to. You can't say no to Mike Trout.
I know.
Are we on the same page with that?
Well, yes, we are. But I don't want it to come at such a ridiculous cost that you just.
But I don't think it will anymore. I don't think.
Well, that's why I think it's open, and there's a possibility of something like that. Why is the turkey different this year? Did we get a new turkey?
New turkey.
New turkey in the system
every year.
The old one from last year.
Yeah, exactly.
We pardoned the other one from last year.
No, you got to eat.
The old one was in the oven last year.
Man.
That's it, man. Come on, dude. Yeah, you got to grub up. Anyways,
terrible.
Yeah, look, Mike Trout. I was even trying to be.
Turkey sounds in distress.
I was even trying to be a little like, well, you know, he's dealt with some injuries, and then Luke was quick to correct that. Like, yeah, he has, but let's take a deeper dive in on some of those numbers and or some of those injuries, and it opened my eyes. It's Mike Trout, and you know, if you're bringing a guy like that in, there's just nothing but positive. Like it's going to be incredible. It already is electric down at Citizens Bank Park. You bring Mike Trout and put him in the outfield. You got Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, and Mike Trout in the same damn team.
And anybody that says they don't want to give the haul up for Trout, if they get a Twitter notification from Jeff Passan that says the Phillies have acquired Mike Trout, there's not a single Phillies fan that's not going to be excited when they see it.
Correct.
Right, because then even what I'm saying of how much you're giving up, it wouldn't even, you just see that notification. I don't even care what's on the other side of that notification and who's going in return. So I get that. It just, you know, Trout it does have injury problems. We know he has a chronic back problem that's never going to go away. It's just something he's going to deal with for the rest of his career. So you are getting it. It's always something different when you're getting a guy that looks like he's on the downturn of his career. Not to say he can't play well.
That some team is going to take because a smart baseball team will take a chance on a player that's probably top 10 of all time. Right. Like he's the beginning of his career is like numbers that we've never seen, like ever in baseball. And although he is maybe not the player he was back in 2017, 2018, his stats the last 5 years are pretty darn close to Bryce Harper's. And Bryce Harper's been one of the best players in baseball over that last 5 year span. So while Trout maybe isn't the headline player that he once was, he's still a insanely elite baseball player. Will probably be the best outfielder that has ever played in this city. From a defensive standpoint, he covers ground like no other. If you want to look at the defensive side of his game, he's one of the best defensive outfielders we've seen in this decade. So he'd be fun, man. A Trout. I don't even know what it would go, because I don't know what necessarily the package would be. Who would go? But Mike Trout in left field would be crazy, man. It's a deal that feels like the Phillies have to at least try to go after. Will they? I don't know, but it's something I think they have to at least look into.
All right. Well, anything else from the Phillies' perspective, and what do you think is next for the Phillies? Where are they going after this? Do they have to re-sign guys?
Certain
New
Japanese
contract?
pitcher that
He
isn't hurt right now.
The name rolls off of Luke's tongue. Say it again, Luke. Say it again.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Woo! Man, that is so smooth.
So he did just get posted today. So his window to sign is now open. So that comes with Harper, I guess, sending this reel to him, according to MLB.com. I mean, Harper's the ultimate, right? Just the ultimate recruiter. Like, I don't know why. Like
40 kids
after
recruited to Ohio State on Saturday.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, after Harper
gonna
retires,
that.
Ohio State should hire Harper to just be their like recruiter. Like he seems like the ultimate recruiter. So whether it's Yamamoto or not, hopefully the Phillies start to look at the left field position. There's some big bats, obviously, like we just said, Trout. But there are some big free agent bats that are going to be out there. So the Phillies seem like they are in the market for one of them. But really, I think it's kind of just a waiting game now. Once you'll see guys start to go off the board, I think it's good for Nola, once again, that he did go first for the Phillies and for Nola, because Blake Snell's probably going to get over $200 million now. And whatever team gives him that, have fun, good luck, because I am happy we did not give him that contract.
All right, but you are happy that Aaron Nola is in the starting rotation for the Phillies for years to come. And,
I'm like 30.
Yeah. And look, man, it's funny that this offseason's already off and running here. Hot stove, it's here. Teams are signing players, new contracts, all that. And, a lot of cool things right now, especially for the Phillies as a team. Has an extremely bright future and came up just short last season. We don't have to go down that path. We know. But, this is a step in the right direction with Aaron Nola back in the mix. So I'm excited. All right. Anything else in the MLB world, Luke, before you get out of here, sir?
Nothing much MLB. I'm ready for some Eagles Chiefs, baby.
Well,
there you go.
What are your thoughts on tonight's Monday Night Football game, man? Where do you stand?
So I picked the Chiefs all the way. No. The Chiefs were my prediction in this game all the way up until about 2 weeks ago.
Which normally happens.
From the beginning of the season, I picked the Chiefs to win the rematch. And then I got a bit of a flip about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I do think the Eagles pull this one out. I think it's really close. Maybe like possibly even like a game-winning field goal or like some sort of last-minute game-winning drive. I don't think this game is any higher than within 4 points. So I'm gonna take the Eagles at the plus 120 tonight. I think it's gonna be just a really good football game. And I think it's gonna be very stressful to watch from our couch. But I do think the Eagles are gonna pull it out. I'm gonna look really just at the Eagles on the money line, and I'm gonna take AJ Brown to score the first touchdown tonight at plus 850.
Woo! AJ Brown, I like it. Feed him the rock. That's all there is to it. You are the man, Luke. We'll catch up later this week. Hey, no, if not, that's right. We got a holiday coming up. Yeah, as I keep playing.
Brace.
And have a great holiday, my friend.
I mean, I don't have a holiday coming up, but
No.
Everybody else does.
Me neither.
What do you mean?
Well, I got Thursday. So
Yeah, come on.
Well, you got Friday off.
Yeah, Black Friday. Great.
Well,
Black Friday's just all online shopping now. It's
Okay.
not even a big deal.
Good. It should be.
I can do Black Friday shopping right now if I wanted to.
Do you want to work on Friday? You can.
No.
Okay, then there you go. Luke, great stuff, man. Enjoy the holiday, and we'll catch up next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Oh, man. There he is. Luke. Got the
So we're getting Mike Trout then.
I hope. That'd be great.
It'd be all right.
The Japanese pitcher. What's the deal there? Is this dude like the real deal? Is this guy next level as far as, other pitchers that have come across seas? Where is he in comparison to Shohei on the mound? Not in the batter's box, but on the mound.
I mean, it's always hard to compare anyone to Shohei, even if it's just directly in the individual stuff. They're comparing the pitcher Ohtani to another pitcher, a batter to another batter. But I mean, this guy's stuff is very good. We've seen pitchers been able to move over to this league. Some had great success. Some didn't have the best. This guy's stuff seems comparable to what you would see from Ohtani and some of the other big Japanese pitchers that have come over here. I'm not exactly sure what his stuff grades out as. I know his curveball is phenomenal. I know this is going to already be, once he gets into the major leagues, it's probably already going to be one of the best curveballs in the majors. So he has that great breaking pitch. I'm sure the heat's there as well. And when you have a 1.23 ERA, even in Japan, that's very, very good. So this guy immediately, I think, makes a huge impact to Major League Baseball. And Phillies should be, and other teams should be, knocking on this guy's door and giving him a bunch of calls to make sure he gets to their club.
Well, look,
and it would be huge. It would be huge for the Phillies if they can do it. And it seems like they're still involved in those discussions,
absolutely,
which is big.
Absolutely. All right, we'll see. Of course, baseball season, we're off and running here as the off season is concerned. But big names are out there, and who knows what's happening behind the scenes. Could Mike Trout be moved this off season? It'd be great to see because we don't get to watch enough of him with the Angels. But then again, he's been hurt, a little bit as well. So it goes both ways. Bring him to Philadelphia, and it would just be another level.
Oh, the vibes would be off the charts.
It'd be insane.
I mean, look at what happened for Texas. Maybe we just look at it that way. They signed Jacob deGrom. He had injury problems and he was hurt, but he definitely it has to change an organization and the players in the clubhouse when you actively try, right? When you tried to sign players, and Jacob deGrom wasn't the only one. They signed Seager the year before, and they continue to sign players. They even got Max Scherzer and stuff. So even though it wasn't that Jacob deGrom helped on the field, it does have to send a message all the time, and vibes have to be a lot higher when you continue to spend and you continue to bring in great Major League Baseball players. And even though Mike Trout is on the downturn of his career, we're probably not going to see peak Mike Trout, and injuries are probably going to follow him. That's obviously going to be a great guy to have around.
All right. From MLB, we'll get it back over to all things NFL. Once again, coming up at 5 o'clock, we're going to send this bad boy out to Kansas City for Green Legion Radio live from Kansas City, enemy territory. Quimby and company got you from 5 to 6, and then we'll hand it off to Beef up front, Ryan Coyle, Sean Bernard, and then we're live from the Hard Rock Cafe in Center City with Green Legion Radio. Irving Fryer going to be hanging out with us from 7 to 8 p.m. Don't go anywhere. More Daily Ticket. Back to this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
42 northbound, stop and go from 295 to 676. Right 2 lanes are blocked by a crash. Left lanes are getting by. Gabriel A southbound on 42 coming off the Walt Whitman Bridge. And that is 676 southbound crawling from Morgan Boulevard into 42. On the Vine Expressway westbound, it jams 95 across the 76 with a crash in the left lane. 95 southbound now jamming from 476 down to the Commodore Barry Bridge because of a disabled vehicle. Schuylkill westbound jamming from Vera to South Street with a crash in the left lane. Eastbound Schuylkill pretty heavy from the Conshohocken curve to Belmont, then Montgomery to University. Brendan Joseph, Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. What's more amazing than nacho fries? Getting a regular order of nacho fries every day for up to 30 days for $10 with the Nacho Fries Lovers Pass. Become a rewards member and purchase the pass on the Taco Bell app for a limited time only. Redeem on the app at participating Taco Bell stores. Terms apply.
With Robinhood Gold, you can make your money do the most. Make your money do 5% APY. That's big. At 8 times the national average savings rate, that's huge. Start earning 5% APY with FDIC insurance up to $2.25 million at partner banks for only $5 a month. Sign up today at Robinhood.com/getgold. As of 9/21/23 via bank rate. Interest is earned on idle cash swept from your brokerage account into program banks. Cash sweep program is offered through Robinhood Financial LLC. Terms apply. Rate may change. Robinhood is not a bank.
Don't miss See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts with great deals on wiper blades, headlight bulbs, and more. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer, and some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate razor, while others need a Gillette anti-chafe stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
It's Ellie Kemper from the podcast Born to Love with a little straight talk about Straight Talk Wireless. See, Straight Talk Gold or Platinum Unlimited plans give you unlimited 5G data and a free Walmart Plus membership and free delivery from your local Walmart store and an included Paramount Plus subscription. I just said plus or and about 57 times, and that's how much value you get from Straight Talk Wireless. Switch or learn more today at Walmart or StraightTalk.com.
Requires active service. One offer per eligible Straight Talk account. Standard data usage applies. For Walmart Plus, $35 order minimum for free delivery. Restrictions apply. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Hey kids, breakfast.
Look at you making smiley face pancakes. Seems like you're feeling much better. It was the Mucinex Fast Max Kickstart Severe Cold and Flu I got you, huh?
Definitely. Good thing I took it the other morning.
So you're ready to go for a walk?
Yep.
Any more pancakes?
Save the biggest smile for you.
Aw.
New Mucinex Kickstart gives all-in one-and-done relief with a morning jolt of instant cooling sensation. Come back with a kick with new Mucinex Kickstart. Use as directed.
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand name cold and allergy products off the shelves. Why? Because an FDA advisory panel recently determined that a drug they contain, oral phenylephrine, is ineffective as a nasal decongestant. Navage offers a drug-free solution that's fast and highly effective at relieving nasal congestion caused by colds and allergies. Navage uses suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril to help suck out allergens, mucus, and germs. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
At Ulta Beauty's Black Friday sale, I get up to 50% off all week long on over 275 can't-miss deals. Starting November 19th, shop 40% off stunning Morphe eyeshadow palettes and 50% off select Tula skincare products. Plus, starting Tuesday, shop $12 mascaras from brands like Tarte, Benefit, and Fenty, and $12 lippies from brands like Lancome and Kylie Cosmetics. Hurry in store or place your online pickup order today. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Sunday afternoon.
Top of the hour, we'll be in Kansas City, Green Legion Radio live. Getting you ready for tonight's Monday Night Football game. What are we seeing? What are we thinking? 2.5. I know this much. Everybody's on Kansas City. Everybody in this studio, not named Sean Brace. Turkeys and all. I'm not on Kansas City. I'm on the Eagles. I'm on the Eagles catching 3.
Catching 3, that's good. Get that number.
Yep, I'm on the Eagles catching 3. And
why are you confident in the Eagles?
I just think this is going to be a really tough game. Knock them down type of game. A battle. And
Kansas City wins those games a lot.
Yeah, they do. Why not? Why not somebody go in there into big bad Kansas City and beat them like Detroit did to open up the season?
A little bit different of a situation, I'd say.
Why?
Kansas City's already, 10, where they're 9, 10 games in, and I think they're figuring themselves out. I think they've gotten better at times. Of course, it's not always going to be perfect. I don't think anything's perfect. Even the Eagles aren't perfect, which we've talked about a lot. But Kansas City still has the best head coach, the best quarterback, the best tight end in the league, and they have a defense on the other side of that helps them. That actually, when Kansas City's offense goes through some struggles because their wide receivers aren't great, their defense picks things up. And I think they can continue to do so. I mean, and they're at home. I mean, that's really the big thing for me too, is Kansas City's at home. They're already such a tough team to beat. Even for the Eagles, it's a tough team to beat. It's the same. I'd be saying the same thing if the Eagles were home in Philly. They're a tough team to beat at home. Kansas City would have to beat even though Kansas City's good, they would have to beat a very tough team. It's just a matter of a spot that just doesn't seem perfect for the Eagles to be in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the way, just as far as the Eagles have been able to really turn it on and make big plays. And I think that they'll be there. I think they're going to take some shots down the field. I don't really expect this Eagles team to try and run the football down their throats. Kansas City's good up front. Really good defensive team.
I'm so surprised that everybody thinks that can just happen in this game.
What, the
and
Eagles
maybe it
can
does.
run?
They just run the ball.
No.
Because it's that easy for the Eagles. They can just, bad rush defense, they can do it. It's easy. I don't think they're that team anymore. I don't know what it is. And I think a lot of it does come down to just running back talent, not a lot of depth at running back. Maybe it is scheme. I don't know. Or heck, maybe they're just filling the box as much as they can. So they don't run the ball and they have to beat you through the air. But whatever the case may be, the Eagles aren't running the ball well. They have to throw. They're very good at throwing the ball. Jalen Hurts has been elite for the past few weeks. Ever since that Jets game, he's been elite. And even before then, he's been very good as a passer. That's just what they are now. I find a hard time believing that all of a sudden they just go back to being a run-heavy team and they're the same team that they were last year. It's different. They're not that team anymore. And not to say that it's worse. It could be better in that area. The Eagles are way better in the passing game than they were last year.
I agree with that. Up front, Jalen Carter, he's going to have to feast. I know he's ready for Thanksgiving, but he's got a feast tonight, and I think the lights are going to be shining bright.
They have to get the Mahomes. Have to.
Even if they do, are they going to be able to bring him down? That's the issue with Mahomes. He's slippery, elusive. He slides out of the pocket, and next thing you know, you think you got a clean shot on him. He's sliding underneath you. Dude's great. He's great. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes going head to head. This is great. I'm fired up for the game. I know we're all excited. If you're making me make a play on it, I'll take the 3 with the Birds, and I think it stays under the 46. How about that? Under 46, Birds come away with the dub.
I was thinking about the under. It's tough because it's going to be a tight game, and I think tight games do allow itself to go over more.
Yeah.
When we see good teams because you're going to see good plays and good offense. But yeah, I thought about that under. A little sloppy conditions, Chiefs defense good. I know the Eagles, everybody thinks they can run the ball, but what if they can't? And the Chiefs pass defense actually has a decent game, even though I like Jalen Hurts over 235.5 for passing yards. But I did think about that. I think that is an interesting way to look at this game instead of the over. I don't know if I can take an under though.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, this is one of those games where, especially last night, if you got lucky in that Denver game, taking the under, count your winnings and just sit this one out. Honestly, I'm not really too blown away by anything as far as betting is concerned here on DK. Any props that have your attention? We talked a little bit, like the first one that I would wager my money on is AJ Brown. AJ Brown's been just such a beast. You can't deny that. He's going to get the rock. They're going to continue to move it. They're going to continue to throw it. So give me the over on 82.5. That's probably my favorite play there. Favorite prop. Excuse me.
Yeah, my favorite one probably is going to be Jalen Hurts over 235.5. Anytime touchdown, it's a plus 110 for Jalen Hurts. That's also something you got to look at because that play is just, they're going to use it every time they're in the goal line. And this game to me, Bryce, is put it all on Jalen's shoulders. Don't take the responsibility away from him with the running game. You run the ball, obviously. Running the ball keeps balance, keeps the Chiefs defense honest. But for the most part, I think it's going to have to be a Jalen game. And I think Jalen's, and I would live or die with Jalen. Have him drop back as much as he can, make plays with his leg. Hopefully he's healthy enough now coming off of the bye week that he ends up even getting better. And he could get even better as a passer if he's healthy because he can move around the pocket a little bit more. I just think this one is all Jalen. So I'm on anytime touchdown for him over 235.5. But I also like the Chiefs.
Mahomes is 20.
Turn on the mic.
Yeah, 26.5 for Mahomes.
How long have you been doing this?
For rushing yards, 26.5. We taking Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes.
Did you say Mahomes rushing yards?
26.5.
That's a lot. What do you think about that one? Because I was very close to taking the over.
It's a big game, man. He wants a Super Bowl rematch.
And he's also coming off of a bye week too. He's probably going to be fresh and that's what happened a lot in the Super Bowl last year. You could talk about Field all you want, and Field certainly had a factor in some way with the Eagles pass rush.
Yeah.
But Mahomes just ran the ball. Mahomes is really good running, and that was with a very bad ankle injury.
Yeah.
So that's part of Mahomes' games, especially in a close one like this. So yeah, he ends up not becoming shy to run the ball. And I think he can do that in this game.
All right. Is there any unders that you're looking at? Is there any fades? Any
DeAndre Swift
fade?
And I think I saw Dustin talk about that as well when I was on VSiN. He had his both rushing and receiving yards under. I like the under 57.5 rushing yards as well. I don't think to be thinking that this Eagles running game is going to be amazing. I just don't see it. Under 57.5. I think they're all in on Jalen. I think they're all into the passing game, Jalen, and not just AJ Brown. We got to talk more about Devontae Smith too. Devontae Smith's a very good receiver. And he could do very well in this game. I wouldn't hate it if somebody wanted to put money on Devontae Smith props. I'm more just going to stick with the passing game in general. But we know the Eagles don't spread the ball around a lot. Kansas City does. Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes will throw it to 10, 11 different receivers. The Eagles won't. It's 6, maybe 7, maybe 8, but it's a very tight group of receivers that the Eagles have, and they're not going to just spread the ball out. It's going to be a lot of AJ, and it's going to be a lot of Devontae Smith. But under DeAndre Swift.
All right. Let's see here. Some other stuff that I was just eyeing it up, and if there's any shot of Mahomes throwing interception, that's always paying out well, whether or not the secondary. The secondary, of course, hasn't played well. We understand that. With the addition of Byard, though, is that going to take effect here? And especially here with Travis Kelce, it's tough to expect anybody to step up against Travis Kelce. But a couple weeks now into the system, should we expect more from him in the secondary? And with that, an improvement as a whole from the secondary?
That's going to be so tough. I don't know how much of an improvement that we see. And Kelce always just find holes. And again, it's the same thing as the scheme last year. Now, it feels like all the same things we're talking about. Just because Jonathan Gannon's gone doesn't mean all those issues just went away.
Yeah.
Now, Jonathan Gannon's defense played a certain way. They had issues against the passing game, and that still is the same. It's not like Sean Desai is any different. Sean Desai is running almost the exact same scheme, the exact same concepts, at least, that Jonathan Gannon was. And now it's doing the same thing. The Eagles' pass defense is getting burned again this season, and it's getting worse, it looks like, this year. So I think it can maybe improve because Slay and Bradbury are so good, but we also have to admit that maybe Slay isn't as good as he used to be.
Nope.
And this secondary is just not good enough, especially in the scheme that they're playing. And Mahomes and Kansas City have beaten this scheme a lot of times, not just with Kansas City last year in the Super Bowl, but Patrick Mahomes also in the regular season, I think a year before that, burned the Eagles, put up 42, I think, here in the link. And then even Eric Bieniemy running sort of the same scheme, and I'm sure brought over a lot of the same concepts used in Kansas City, and Washington burned the Eagles in both games. So there's just seems to be something about what Andy Reid does to this Eagles defense that just doesn't work. And this scheme just doesn't work against it. And we'll see if it can today. But that's certainly notable to me.
Well, Going down tonight, 8:15, Monday Night Football again coming up at 5 o'clock. We'll send it down to Kansas City, or out to Kansas City. Excuse me. That's not down. That's
Down,
out there.
out, up,
That's out
around.
there. At 7 o'clock, we'll send it down to the Hard Rock Cafe in Center City, Philadelphia. Again, a DraftKings Sportsbook where we're getting our numbers from. 3-point spread for the Birds a little earlier. Now back to 2.5. It was up for about a brief second. 46 still holding steady. Money line minus 148 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Plus 124 for the Birds. All right, quickly, just more from yesterday, if we could, because did not have an opportunity to really go through everything from the game standpoint.
Good 1 o'clock slate yesterday.
Was it?
Oh yeah, especially the witching hour. Witching hour is great. You didn't think it was?
Let's see.
I thought the witching hour was awesome.
The previous week we had field goals at the final seconds.
That was a good week as well.
Steelers, Browns. All right, that came down to the second.
We're not allowed to have good weeks.
Lions
back
was
to
good.
back.
Lions was a good game. You're right. Come back there.
Browns
Packers
came to 3. Yeah, Lions, Packers, Chargers was awesome at the end.
Staley's got to go.
Staley's got to go.
Fire him. Like
now.
Now.
It should be
Fire him right now.
Yes.
Enough. And I don't think Herbert played a great game, to say the least. Keenan Allen had himself a good game. Austin Eckler was slipping all over the place, but
Jordan Love
looked good.
Man, there were some special throws.
He has that in his pocket, but he just hasn't been able to put it together this year.
Consistently, and also seeing things consistently, because he just makes bad decisions, inaccurate at times. But yeah, maybe we shouldn't be so enamored by it. But man, the off-platform stuff, I thought the way he moved in the pocket was really good and avoided pressure. But just his arm talent is next level, and he makes some of those throws in windows and pockets you just don't see.
To the easy one, and I asked you on the way
You're
out.
just smacking your head on the microphone.
Yeah, I was just hitting my cheek right like that.
You trying to wake yourself up?
No. I actually asked you yesterday on the way out, give me a blowout today, and you said the Jacksonville Jags, and it was right.
Yeah,
it was right.
I got it. Tennessee stinks.
Yeah.
Should they think about firing Mike Vrabel?
I don't think so.
He's going to be one that's mentioned a lot. I don't think they'll do it.
He's been successful. He's gotten the most out of that team in the past few years.
That team's just awful.
Not a good football team this year. Not a good football team, but they might have a quarterback. I mean, they have one on the roster with Levis. They went out and drafted him. I don't know if he's the future, but
I don't know either. Good, certainly a lot of good things that he's done.
I agree.
And big plays. Now, can he continue to develop where, he can do the little stuff well? And I think that's where he struggles with sometimes. But yeah, Will Levis, at least it's something to build on for him. Like there does seem to be something that I think Tennessee should continue to look into instead of trying for another quarterback again this offseason.
All right. And
but it's safe to say the Ryan Tannehill thing's done. That's over.
Oh, it's
Goodbye.
definitely done.
Yeah.
See, I didn't think there was anything.
Thanks for trying. Thanks for
that
playing.
one. Yeah, it's time to move on for Ryan Tannehill. But the Jacksonville Jags definitely need to be a storyline coming out of yesterday's NFL slate as they improved to 7-3 on the season. I think the Texans, man, CJ Stroud, I know he had a couple interceptions yesterday, but you want to talk about just a difference in eyesight alone between him and Bryce Young down in Carolina. It's really night and day watching those two guys quarterback. And I think Bryce Young's going to be good. I know he's struggling this year, and I know that there's some ugly throws as well, and they're getting absolutely blown out in every game possible.
I think anything you see from Bryce Young from here on out, just don't even care about it. It's completely broken.
But CJ Stroud is special. Kid is special.
He is very good.
Also, Tank Dell is probably going to be a top 10 pick in next year's fantasy.
That catch by Tank Dell.
Dude.
My goodness. I know the throw was pretty good, and we could give credit for Stroud for getting it down the field. But, man, that catch by Tank Dell was spectacular.
He's
the
next
body
level.
control that he has, and he has already great speed. Yeah, that was somebody you were talking about when he got drafted, and just seeing all this stuff at I think it was the Senior Bowl and things like that. Tank's got something special too. Again, Nico Collins and Tank Dell and CJ Stroud. We haven't talked about Tank Dell and Nico Collins that much as these really good wide receivers, but they got something pretty good there with Houston. I actually think that's an offense that could continue to have a future with all three of those guys.
I love it. All right, and then finally the last game that I wanted to get to put a bow on the recap. the Rams pulled out a 1-point victory over the Seahawks.
I don't know how.
Yeah, it was an ugly game.
That was the entire 4 o'clock slate wasn't worth watching.
No, there's only 3 games.
And none of them were worth watching.
Wasn't good. Just a couple winners, which is always fun. But the Rams and the Seahawks game, I thought Seahawks were going to come back to win that game. And, there was a bomb to DK Metcalf. Wow, he had himself a ball game yesterday. I thought he had a little bit more as far as production. He only had 5 grabs for 94 yards and a touchdown only. But in his first game with a touchdown, like 4, if I'm not mistaken. But in that final drive, he caught a bomb, and the next thing you know, Pete Carroll and the Seahawks were okay with the field position, and ended up being like a 55-yarder for Myers and the Seahawks. And he hit like a knuckleball, but it had the distance, in my opinion, just came up short. Not the best kick by no means, but the Rams ended up pulling that one out. That division, of course, look, just shakes things up from the wild card standpoint. That division is.
I was about to ask the wild card because
know.
there aren't many teams that are too close yet. Because Green Bay is the 8th team right now, and they're 4-6, and the rest are just 4-6 behind them. And then it's Minnesota 6-5, Seattle 6-4. But I mean, Minnesota lost, Seattle lost. Is there a chance for Green Bay? Is there a chance for the Rams?
Well, 7 games left, 8 games left.
Chance for Atlanta?
7 games left. What did they play? 17?
17.
Yeah. Sorry. There's 7 games left for a lot of these teams, so anything can happen. But, the 49ers are going to win that division. The South is completely up for grabs. I think the Detroit Lions will win that division. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win that division. The Cowboys will be a wild card. You'll get the Vikings or the Packers to be a wild card. I don't think we'll see a wild card out of the South, and probably the Seahawks will be that wild card out of the West. So not too much, as far as too many surprises are concerned, but a lot to play for, to say the least, down the stretch. We do have a quarterback change. Finally, the New York Jets are going to make a quarterback change. Zach Wilson is getting benched. I don't even know who the hell they're going to. I didn't know who this guy was.
You don't know? You don't know?
Who is that?
Tim Boyle?
Yeah, Tim Boyle. I didn't even know he was on the team. Did he play yesterday?
He did. He came into the game late yesterday.
All right.
Yeah. It was way past time.
Yeah, it should have happened like 5-6 weeks ago, but they needed to know if Zach Wilson was anything worthwhile, and clearly he's not. All right, fun stuff here, folks. We're back at it at 7:00. Only difference is we'll have Irving Fryer with us, so make sure.
That's a big difference.
A little bit. A
little bit of a difference.
But coming up in just about 10 minutes, we're going to send this bad boy to Kansas City. Eagles and the Chiefs. Final score, John Jansen, go.
I will go, 25-20 Kansas City.
So it stays under, and the Chiefs get the job done. I'm going to take the Eagles. I think they win. Give me like a 23-18 final score. 23-18. Birds win by 5 on the road in Kansas City, and we're talking about Super Bowl redemption tomorrow night. It's just a regular season game. You want to win this bad boy because, of course, all the good teams did win in the NFC, and that's all that's on my mind. And I don't think anything I don't think any of the players that are playing tonight will be thinking too much about the Super Bowl once that game gets kicked off. But it's fun to see this rematch, and especially where these two teams are. Enjoy the games, everybody. Do not touch that dial, though. Coming up in 10 minutes live from Kansas City Green Legion Radio. Then at 6:00, we got Beef Up Front featuring Sean Bernard and Ryan Coyle. And then 7:00, myself, John Jansen, and Irving Fryer live from the Hard Rock Cafe. We will be back tomorrow talking to you about, hopefully, an Eagles victory. Green Legion Radio is next.
Go Birds! Ready for all of the weekend's action. It's sports here, there, and everywhere with Dick.